What is up, guys? Thank you for tuning into another video. Rush SRT here, back at it again with another one for you. Today's video, we're actually doing a little modification to the Challenger, something that will definitely help it stay cooler this summer, because I've been having a lot of issues with the car getting really hot, and I'm afraid of it overheating, so I'm always kind of backing off and avoiding running it too hard. As soon as the weather, gets like, closer to 100 degrees out here, I feel like the car is not really the best to drive. So I looked around and it looks like there is a thermostat upgrade that you could do that will help it run a lot better. So I ended up ordering the thermostat. It's here today. We're going to install it, and it installs right in this area right here. And what it does pretty much is the stock thermostat runs at 200 degrees. That's when it opens up, allows the fluid to go into the engine. The 180 thermostat actually lets the fluid go in at 180 degrees. So, while you're idling, you're in traffic, it should allow the car to run a little cooler. Obviously, if you were to, get all the gains from a better thermostat like that, you will have to program it, and that is something that a tuner will have to do. So I won't be able to, reap all the benefits of it just yet, but as soon as I get the car tuned, they'll be able to activate the fans at an earlier time, and that with the 180 thermostat will allow me to run a lot better. So we're gonna go ahead and do the install now. Alrighty, guys, so I grabbed some older shop towels, kind of rags that I don't need. I'm gonna go ahead and put them around this area right here where I expect most of the coolant to come out of, and hopefully we can catch most of it without having it hit my driveway here. Okay, guys, and if you're wearing a watch, I'm gonna go ahead and take my watch off, my Apple Watch, because I don't want that to get messed up. Oh, and my bracelet just totally broke, but that's all good. All right, there we go. Watch is off, bracelet is off. Looks like we're ready to go. I'm gonna throw just some more rags on the bottom of the car there, just to kind of try to have this floor mat. So I figured I'd just toss that down there as well with the rag on it. Try to catch as much of this coolant as possible. Alrighty, guys, so I got my wrench, we got our thermostat, our coolant is around here. Now let me go walk you through the whole process real quick. So as soon as we remove this bolt up here and this bolt down there, we're gonna go ahead and be able to remove this neck. As soon as you do that, you want to go ahead and tilt it up as quickly as possible, because this thing has a lot of coolant inside of it. So the sooner you can get it up, the quicker it'll be, and it'll make sure that you won't drop coolant everywhere. You want to spill as little as possible. So we're looking over here, trying to see how much we have right now, so we can kind of gauge it when we're done. And once we have this out, the thermostat, the old one, is going to be sitting right in here in this piece right there. So what we need to do then is to swap them out real quick. But when you swap them out, you want to make sure that this jiggle pin at the very top of the thermostat right there is pointing upwards. So it's got to be at the very top. All right, so let's get right to it. And make sure that your engine is nice and cool before you get to doing all this. So loosen this one. So I'm keeping pressure on it so that it doesn't okay, that should be loose. Alright, guys, got both bolts out real quick. So now we're just gonna go ahead, tilt this up as quickly as we can, really. There we go. So you just want to hold this up. It's alright, let it drain out here. And there is our stock thermostat, as you can see there. So it is going to drip out, that's alright. We already anticipated it. There's going to be a little bit of, so now we just want to stick this one on and make sure that your that little pin up there is pointing upwards. So I'm just going to do a little quick swapperoo, and that'll be it. So there we go. So make sure you're holding that up. I need to wiggle this one out of place a little bit. Thermostat's a little stuck here. Okay, now it's no longer stuck. So you just want to take that one out, stick this one right in place of it. Try to do this as quick as I can, just like that, and we dropped. Okay, there's the old one, and the new one is in place. Let's make sure that it's centered correctly, just like so. Your pin is at the top, and now we can go ahead and reinstall our bolts. So connect the bottom one first, and we can do the top one right after that. So I'm glad I put these rags here because they did collect a lot of that coolant that was coming out. So now I'm just putting the bolts back in place, and that will be the install of the thermostat there. Okay, there's our bottom bolt and our top one. Okay, now we can go ahead and start tightening these down. Make sure everything's sitting in place nicely. Alrighty, so now we can go ahead and remove our rags from down here. So this one is actually soaked. And there's a little bit of coolant right there that's slipped through. And then there's the rest of it. Go ahead and dry my hands off. And it's not too bad. We didn't spill all that much, but there was a little bit of spillage. Once again, I'm just going to check these. Now I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that they are nice and tight. And honestly, it looks like we spilled a lot of coolant, but if you look at the coolant, it actually didn't even drop all that much, so it wasn't too bad. So now we can put our old thermostat in here, and then if you look at this thermostat, it will tell you it's a 203-degree thermostat right there. It has it right on the bottom of it, versus the new one we put in is 180. So that is going to be a major help in keeping this Hemi nice and cool, especially in the SoCal summer that we're having right now. Car tends to get hot quite often. So I'm going to go ahead and just check under the car, make sure everything's good, wipe down any excess coolant that I see. And then I'm going to go ahead and run the car for a minute, make sure there's no leaks or anything like that of any coolant. After that, I'm just going to top it off with this excess coolant that I have, and that should be it. Alright guys, I'm going to jump out and check it real quick, just to make sure we haven't have any leaks. And it looks solid. I see no leaks. The coolant isn't actually all that low, so it's still within the cold fill line. So that's a very good sign. Let's close her up. Now, if we look inside here, the temperature's gone up to 194, but that is because we're not moving. But that is still really good because it's hanging over just that second line. You know, usually I would be at half point right now, and the fact that I'm not makes me really happy, because it is actually not all that cold outside right now, and it's kind of warm. It's still 80 degrees. So let's see when we get a move on it what really happens. So the coolant temp right now is at 197 degrees. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a little kind of a pull here, kind of see what goes on. And here we go. Oh, it's nice and warmed up. Wow guys, I'm so impressed, because usually my car will never, you know, hit that line right there that we're looking at, right? You know, it'll always be kind of at the half mark. But just taking a quick ride, I just even did a little pull there, and we can see that it's already heading back down to the 180s. Is amazing. I mean, it's heading super low. It's barely even, you know, it's below that quarter mark of the usual coolant temp. So it's hanging out at 185 degrees again. So this makes me really happy. It gives me a lot more confidence in having fun with the car over the summer. Something I was definitely worried about always is just making sure the temperature doesn't rise a little too high or anything like that. Last thing I want is to have the car overheat and cause some major damage to the heads or anything like that. So I've always been super cautious. This is definitely a no-brainer for $50 to be able to have that reassurance that your vehicle is going to run a lot cooler. It's definitely a peace of mind. Oh man. Okay guys, so just pulled in back to the house here, and we're gonna go ahead and just check everything over one last time, just because the last thing I want to deal with is having a coolant leak in the engine bay here. So I'm popping the engine. We're gonna look at all the different levels, make sure that there's no leaks anywhere, and man, that is hot. So I don't see any leaks whatsoever. I'm looking at the coolant. It's a little on the lower side, but we did just run the car a little hot. So you want to wait till the car cools down before you add any coolant back in there. You never want to open this when it's hot, and you know, for reasons such as that, you know, it could have coolant come flying out, which is not something you want to do. So you just need to wait. So I'm going to wait a few hours, let the engine cool down, then I'm going to come out here and add a little bit of coolant to it as needed, and that will be it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Rush SRT, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.